Good day once again. You are welcome to the EXPANSE community where we have honest conversation. Yeah, so today on this episode of No Caps, we're just going to be dabbling into some topics, but majorly one of the things we're going to talk about today is some critical, or let's say our critical questions or critical things we need to, discuss about before we decide on tying the knot.
Yeah.
But not even necessarily tying the knot, you get what I'm saying? But maybe just relationships, you get what I'm saying?
Serious.
Exactly. That's the main thing. Having serious relationships. So it's not just
Not like a fling.
not a fling, yeah? We're not just coming around, you're just joking around, you're just having fun, you get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
so many just right from top of my head, yeah. I think one of the conversations I feel that which is really important, that we as young men, I mean, let's even talk about it from the perspective of a young man.
Sure.
I mean, we don't have ladies on the show today. Our ladies are not around today, but don't worry, we're gonna be doing like we'll probably think about the ladies' version. We'll bring the ladies up to have the whole conversations, yeah? All right. So on top of my head, yeah, one of the things I think we can always talk about is finances.
Definitely.
Finances.
Definitely.
I know it's a huge one, yeah. So for you, my guy, now you understand the issue that a lot of ladies will bring up the case of money. The guy has got to be boxed up, the guy needs to be a millionaire, this and that. And funny enough, yeah, let me give you this funny joke. So I was talking to some of our other guys, yeah. I think we were going out, and this has always been bothering me. Every time I come across a lot of females, and they're like, oh, I expect you to have this particular amount of money. I expect you to be this. And you know what I came about? I'm like, wait, come to speak of it, yeah? We all went to the same uni and we graduated from the same uni at the same time.
Yeah.
So let's say we see after 6 years. Now, the lady is probably saying, oh, why are you not single? I mean, why are you still single? Why are you not in a relationship? Or let's say, why don't you have, or why are you not a millionaire? And then I made a decision in my mind that if I come across anyone again and they ask me such a question, the answer would be, babe, listen, we graduated from the same university. We've been gone for 6 years. You see me after 6 years and you're asking me what happened to me. What happened to you as well? You expect me to be the millionaire, yeah? Why are you not the millionaire as well? You get what I'm saying? But I'm not disputing, I'm not disputing the fact that it's important for we guys to be financially secure. Because I totally believe that for every serious relationship, with the intention that it might lead into marriage, you get what I'm saying? The man should be financially secure.
Yes,
like we always say, basically the job of the man is to protect, and provide, you know what I'm saying,
True.
exactly for the family. So I think it's important for us to be financially secure.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Finances, especially if you're looking at a relationship where both partners are equal, then both people bring money, so it's okay. But from a traditional point of view, where the guy assumes majority of the financial responsibility, you need to be set. I mean, there's no guy that would want to go into marriage, at least even if he doesn't have a plan. And nobody, definitely, if you're waiting till you have all the money, you'll probably be old before you marry. But you need to have a plan. You need to start something.
That's right.
And you need to walk through it, no matter whether it seems like it's failing or not. Persevere and make sure things work out. Because having relationship, when it's just you and your girlfriend, okay, not too much finances are needed compared to when you have a family and you're bringing children into the world. Because bringing children is a big responsibility. You shouldn't bring children when you know that you're not financially capable to take care of them.
That's right.
Because you see a lot of children talking about their story, how they grew up, the things they went through that were unnecessary if the parents had planned better. So finances is essential both for the man and the woman, because even in a traditional point of view, it's not like the man is going to provide 100% for everything. The woman will still contribute, even though maybe the house, the school fees, the cars, okay, the man take care of, but little things like groceries and some other basic things the woman will also take care of. So both parties have to.
I was going to ask you.
They need money.
But I was going to ask you, because you said, thinking about what you said now, because you said, sometimes, even in a conventional situation, a trado setting, the guy is not going to bring everything. But you talked about equal.
In equality, they are bringing 50. I don't even understand how they even do it in their house. It's like okay, maybe if you pay for dinner, I pay for movie. If you do this, I do. So it's like,
man, believe me, I think that thing is unnecessary, man.
me too. I don't really believe in it. I mean,
how long are we gonna go to be keeping such things down? Like, oh, I paid for dinner yesterday. You pay for dinner today.
we don't keep it in mind, but
it doesn't make
women,
sense.
if you talk now, they tell me that I paid for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They remember all those things, so they can do the jotting in their head.
But I think, to be honest, yeah, I don't think I don't want to say it doesn't make sense, yeah, but I want to say it sounds nonsensical, because if we're gonna live together for so long, okay, let's say for example we're gonna be together for 40, 50 years. So are we gonna be keeping that down for 50 years?
It's I think if there's that mentality of keeping it down, it will cause a lot of problems, because at a point you feel like, oh, maybe I'm doing too much, the person is not doing as much as I'm doing, and then you're going to be like, oh, but why didn't you could have this, all those unnecessary problems. So I feel for that kind of situation, just do, like if we go out and I pay for this, maybe we want to eat out, so you order, or just let it flow naturally.
Exactly.
There shouldn't be,
don't stress it out.
Yeah, too much stress on that.
I mean, in addition to that, maybe we can move to the next thing though. I feel like, just like the one we're talking about, like paying stuff and stuff, I think it's something that would naturally come. If this is like, let's say the two people actively in the relationship, if once they understand each other, do you understand? Do you get what I'm saying? Because I know they would understand their present situation and circumstance. But one thing I don't understand, or one thing I feel might make the relationship or the union, because I prefer to call it union, to plummet, is because of outside opinions. Because people are like, let the man pay, that's his job.
Yeah.
But they don't really know what is happening to people in their union, in their respective unions.
See, people will always talk. I tell people, like, people will always talk. Like, today, if the man pays, people will say, oh, why is the man paying? I mean, people might tell the girl, oh, are you not doing equality? Why is the man paying? If the lady pays, they'll be looking at the man like you're not a responsible man. Right. Then if they share, people will be like, why are you sharing? If they do this, whatever you do, people always have an opinion. So it is up to the individuals, the two people who would talk to themselves truthfully, consider their financial situation and what they want to work with in their relationship, and then close your ears to whatever people say. Because if you always listen, people don't know what's happening. They will just talk and go away. When you have problems, they wouldn't be there with you now. So you need to know what you are doing and tell yourself, this is what we are working with. Yeah. You see a lot of people, they talk about their marriages. Oh, me and my wife, or my wife and I, we have a plan. This is what we follow. So understanding each other. Yeah, that's understanding each other. So it's very important.
And it's even, I think it's also something people need to as well talk about and work on, the level of understanding. Because now that you talked about it, it's just pricking my brain, because I feel that we humans, we are definitely brought up from different house or different homes.
Yes.
Even though we might be, of course, you're not from the same tribe, However, as much as we are from the same tribe or the same country, still, I feel that
our individual backgrounds.
Do you get what I'm saying? Individual backgrounds, I mean,
it
differs. Those variations they all exist. So, when it comes to understand, especially when it comes to a lady, I feel that one of the things that people should discuss as well are like probably things like understanding, or things like worldviews, the way we perceive the world, or I mean to just, I think it's just a way of saying, okay, this is the way I see life, or life views. Do you get what I'm saying? The lady can say this is the way she sees life, because most of the time I realize that when people's understanding are not in sync, it brings a lot of issues in relationships.
Yes. That's why they need to have critical conversations, because if you go into the relationship with different views, I know you are going to have problems. And that's why finances is one of them. And I also think besides finances, what other conversation about kids, especially now, there are a lot of ladies that they don't want, they want to adopt. And the guy might want his own. Yeah, he might adopt to later, but he might want his own too. So that is another thing that you need to talk about. And also, there are a lot of things. First of all, do you even have the same values? You need to talk about
values, because
because
that's right.
Except your values align, you're always going to have problem because your values like define your view on life.
right.
So if there is an issue, because we both think differently, there would always keep arguing. There will never be agreement, and then the relationship will become annoying. It will just be stressful, like everyday argument and arguments. So understanding, having these discussions I think are very critical.
Yeah.
Let me think. Besides this,
I could say purpose as well.
yeah, like what is the purpose? What is the goal? True,
So,
true,
but
true.
you know the funny thing, yeah? Sorry to cut you short. I think it's... Okay, let me put it this way. I think it's because I'm a kind of purpose-driven person. But
yes,
let's say because I want to pay attention to purpose all the time. I just don't want to do things
Without any goal.
without any goal, without any
Aimlessly.
objective. I just don't want to do such a thing.
Yes,
Now, that doesn't deprive me from being spontaneous.
Definitely.
But because I feel that when it comes to relationship or marriage, it's a serious thing.
Yeah.
You can't just dabble into the river without having a plan. Do you get what I'm saying? I mean, no one goes for war without strategically planning. Do you get what I'm saying? So, but I feel when it comes to the level of purpose in a sense, like, what is our goal? What is our objective in this union? Because when it comes to union, we need to understand that the two parties are bringing their individual objective. Because before two people come together, there are individuals, individuals with varying objectives, desires, and lives and aspirations. So when they are coming together to form one union, I feel it's important that the two parties talk about their individual goals and aspirations.
Yes,
Because I've seen situations where it's now the man's side that is triumphing and the woman is wallowing, or let's say the other way around, the woman is doing better and the man has to compromise. Now I understand that we can compromise, we have to compromise in relationship.
Yes.
However, we're still individuals. We can't be in a relationship and totally lose our individuality.
True.
Do you understand? So I feel purpose, goals, desire should be the same.
I completely agree with you. I feel like you can say that the purpose is like the backbone.
That's it.
So it gives structure. It gives definition.
Yeah.
Because you're making whatever decisions you make, you're not just making decisions out of emotions or out of just what you feel like. I mean, sometimes you will do that, but most of the time there is a purpose behind.
That's right.
Why you are making decisions,
something.
considering the next step and the next step. But when there's no purpose, you just do and then you realize, oh, we are stuck now. What do we do? All those kind of stuff. And also, another important conversation is talking about expectations from each other. Because it's very important.
I like the fact you talked about this.
You go because if me, I say I want to go into a relationship now, I'm already thinking about what I'm expecting from her.
Yeah.
And I'm not even, most of the time, I wouldn't think about what I'm willing to give. So when I get there, then I'm not focusing on myself and what I'm doing. I'm just expecting that she will just do everything that I want.
Yeah.
And she too is expecting that I will just do everything that she wants. And then I'll be complaining that why are you not doing this? And then she'll be complaining that why am I not doing this? And then maybe when I later realize that, oh, this is what she wants, I'm like, I can't do this now. Then, but we're already in it. So it's very important to have talk about it, no matter how unrealistic, how delusional is it. Talk. And then you say, at least it will save you stress if you know that, oh, this person, yes, we like each other, but this person can't give me what I need. Then you would forget about it, because those are the important things. Having purpose, like you said. What is the purpose of this relationship? Do we want to marry? And even in marriage,
are we flinging?
Yes, all those things. Because sometimes, most of the time, there are a lot of situations where one person will just go and catch feeling now. Well, after they don't catch feeling like that, they will now be expecting something big. And the other person is like, I'm not doing no. And then they'll be, that's how you now come and see online that love is scam.
Love is scam. Men are scam.
They've broken your heart.
You can serve breakfast.
So it's very important that you talk about purpose. And sometimes, I feel like one of the reasons for divorce is lack of purpose. In the sense that both of you are attracted, and then in the moment, let's just marry. Then you marry, and then after the attraction has died down, then your partner just begins to annoy you. And then you're like, I don't want again.
Yeah.
But there are some relationships that you see, the love will always dwindle. Sometimes it will come up, it will go down. Sure. The attraction will come up, will go down. But in those moments where there is no attraction, where it feels like there's no attraction, where it feels like there's no love, there is understanding, there is purpose that still keeps you together. and then later on, everything comes back again, the spark comes back. But you see a lot of people, once the spark goes, they don't even give it time.
It's about chemistry and physics. It's about
Let's just,
chemistry.
yeah,
It's about
exactly, chemistry. So they just cut it off.
Yeah.
So not having purpose as to why, like, why, okay, why am I marrying this woman? What are we going to do together? Do I just want to be playing? We just be having fun. If it's for fun, you don't need to. It's even stressful to be married when it's just for fun. It's easier to be outside and enjoy yourself well, because in marriage is responsibility.
Yeah, it comes with, I mean,
A
even
lot of
relationship comes with
responsibility. Yeah, like
responsibility. Money
serious.
comes with responsibility.
Yeah.
So, but in addition to what you said, yeah, the two things I want to bring out there. First is the place of the aspect of relationships. Now, you talked about the fact that I totally, I know where you're driving at, and I totally agree with you that. I mean, having that purpose and objective would help to build the relationship. Now, I tell people this. I mean, I might have heard this somewhere before, but I always tend to tell people this, that, you know, a lot of people will say, oh, love is blind, this is this. And I'm like, man, bro, yeah, if you get blinded by love, marriage is going to open your eyes.
Yeah,
Or let's say, if you get blinded by love, the circumstances of the relationship would widen the eyes. Your eyes are going to open. You're going to be clear. And you would believe it, man. You're going to believe it, yeah? So I would say that different aspects of relationship that would be important for people to talk about, or let's say, look into before they start anything serious, because I do understand that love is not always enough. It's never going to be enough. You know, that's why there is a place of eros. That's the physical attraction kind of thing, or the sexual attraction side of the union. There is the agape, that's the unconditional side of things. There is I can't really remember then, but that's like the friendship side. That's like the friendship, because the unconditional love, there's gonna be a time it's gonna, let's say, fizzle off.
No, even love is never in human relationship. Love is not unconditional.
That's the second side I'm coming to. You know, I said there are two things. That's the second thing I'm coming to, because you know you talked about expectations, yeah. So I know that there is the eros side. You know, there is all of those. There are all of those sides that, you know, people need to concentrate, like the friendship side of love, the agape side of things, or let's say the attraction side of things, or let's say the purpose, knowing the reason why we are in this thing, because there are times where these things are not really going to work, like love is not really going to work. But the reason why we are doing this is what's going to keep us holding on to each other, or let's say because we've seen each other as friends before. So even when we realize that maybe that friendship and let's say that love side is not coming through, or it's not pulling us through, I mean, we can drop back to the fact that we were friends before. You get what I'm saying? Or let's say, oh, we know we're attracted. I mean, it's not just this. There are other aspects to the relationship or the union that can keep people. Now, the second side I want to point out is this. Now, you talked about expectation, and I can tell, specifically you said, you know, the lady is expecting this. You're not giving it as well. But you're expecting this. She's not giving it as well. Now the question is, do you really think unconditional love exists?
No.
In relationships?
In relationship, no. If someone should, let me see. Like, okay, maybe for you a boundary is what's that boundary? Just if someone should keep breaking your boundary 1, 2, 3, are you going to say, oh, it's okay, come back, I just love you, come back? And they will just think that, all those people say, they will just abuse you, like, what is wrong with you now? Are you blind? Me, not see that. Maybe the person will even take you for granted, because they know that they can ride you, that no matter what they do, they will come back. And even if it will just kill you inside.
Yeah, that's right.
It will just feel like it's unnecessary. Another thing, talking about boundaries and expectations.
Yeah.
Boundaries and expectations are very important. And I mean, obviously, like at times you forgive. I mean, nobody's perfect. You expect me to do something. Maybe this is something I've never done before. But it's not like I'm not willing to do it, but I mean, transitioning into doing it might take time.
Yeah, that's right.
So patience is very important in all this situation. But you need to let your partner know, this is what I'm expecting. I mean, you understand that it might take some time. And also, these are my boundaries and all. And then it's not just about communicating, it's about making sure the partner to understand. Because sometimes you might communicate all those expectations and boundaries, and the partner does not even understand. Then they'll go and do that and be like, and sincerely speaking, maybe they didn't really get during the time you were communicating, or the way you communicated. You know, sometimes you're saying like 1,000 things at the same time, and too many information, too many details. you're not really going to get everything.
Yeah.
You're meant to know how to process, like prioritize and talk at different times so that you can focus on each one. So whoever you're talking to can fully understand. So that way the person can actually try and meet your expectation and also respect your boundaries. So I feel, so like we said, finances, expectation, boundaries, purpose.
Kids as well. We spoke about kids.
Yeah,
Spoke about
kids.
We can. I think it's also important for people to talk about family integration.
Yeah, with like extended family
Exactly.
and all that.
Maybe not entirely necessary at the
Ex-
initial phase of the relationship.
Oh, definitely.
But maybe
later on.
when it's like getting really, really serious towards the phase of wedding, or let's say the phase of the marriage setting, I feel these are conversations that people should start having. You know, family integration.
Yes,
what
yes.
are the plans? I mean, because I've seen situations where a person, or let's say one of the parties in the relation or in the union is like, I think we once had that conversation, like the ladies like, I don't really care. I mean, I don't really want to be in contact with your family. It's just you I want to be with. So I feel it's important for people to have that kind of conversation.
True,
It's
true,
totally
true.
important, because for me as a person, I want a situation where my family and my babe's family, we all see each other as one.
Yes, yes.
I mean, like there's no difference,
True,
there's no there's no variance in the two families because we're coming together, and I feel that is why as well it's always important to look into people's family background
Yes,
before
yes,
going.
yes, yes.
I mean, it's always important. Go check into the family background.
because it's-
you know necessary things that you need to look into, necessary things that you need to break off. Because now let me give you this example, and this might sound a bit off. People talk about generational curses. I mean, like I do tell people, like generational curses doesn't have to be spiritual. It doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be linked to religion.
Or destiny, or
Do
destiny.
you get
It
what I'm
can be
saying?
physical,
It could
yeah.
be physical. It could be habits. So let me give you an example. I found generational patterns in people where they are scared of spending money. Believe me, man, believe me already. People are scared of spending money. You see these people, they've got the money. They've got the money with them, and you're like, man, Prof, can you just spend this money? It's like, oh no, I just want to spend. I don't want to spend this money. Blah blah blah. I'm like, you need to enjoy as well as much as. I mean, we need to be economical and reasonable, and not unnecessarily, extravagant in our spending. But I haven't said that. I think it's important that when it is necessary to get some necessaries, do you get what I'm saying? Do it. If you need to
True,
take care of
true,
yourself, do. But then these people are scared of spending money, and then I was able to trace it down that that's what happens in the family. Siblings are like, oh, we don't want to spend. Why? Because they've been brought up in a structure, or let's say in a family setting of you have to be very careful with spending. So that has been taken overboard. As much as people want to be careful with spending, they're becoming extremely overboard. So that's not spiritual. That doesn't have to do with anything religious or anything. It's just a pattern. Do you get what I'm saying? So those are some of those are that's just like one of the patterns that people would necessarily have to, think about. There are some people who do not. Let me give you an example. There are people who were brought in from families of, let's say, not eating together with people. Do you get what I'm saying? But you know that if you are going to, start coming into a relationship or a union, you need to start compromising. And there are certain things that it's not just from the ladies or the man. We all need to consciously break out of this thing, because we are beginning to create a new family, create a new union, and we want to do better than what our parents have always done. And that's why I always tell my friends as well, like, when I give birth, or whenever it is, or whenever it happens, I expect my kids to do better than I've done.
True,
do you get what I'm saying?
true,
Because
true.
I want to do better than my parents. Because it's what my mom tells me, and my dad always said that. Like, you need to do better than what I've done, and it's the same thing I'm going to pass on. That's the legacy.
Yeah.
I have to do better than them. My kids have to do better than I have done. Do you get what I'm saying? So I think that's one of the conversations that people need to talk about. Let me see. I think another one might be residence issues, where people want to reside.
Yeah, I think that is also.
I'll tell you the reason why I feel it's important for people to talk about that. So, there's this thing of, so I was watching a video yesterday. So, this guy's a military officer, but he was trying to test his babe. He's been in Afghanistan. He was in Afghanistan, he was posted to Afghanistan, but then he was not sure if his wife was being faithful or not. This is his wife, not just his girlfriend, I think his wife, yeah? And then when he came back, he was testing. He was trying, he set up a whole thing, you know this kind of videos on YouTube, when you test your babe. I mean, but the problem is this. The lady said something that pricked my brain. She said she was a single mother. I mean, I know that was just an excuse for her. She was just trying to lie. But one thing that pricked my head was the fact that she, in her mind, even though it was an excuse, she's also thinking that she's a single mother. Even though the guy has gone out, to work for the family and as well provide, he's also protecting the nation. Do you get what I'm saying? However, the state she has found herself is where she feels she's a single mom. Do you get what I'm saying? I've seen situations where fathers are gone during the week, mothers are at home with the kids. Because we always say men are most of the time work oriented, females or women are family oriented, because that's the way we think majorly. Do you understand? There are outliners, but having said that, I think that these are not kind of things that we should start talking about, especially when the relationship is getting really serious. Start talking about it. What is your plan, or what are our plans for family structure, family location? Are you as the man trying to go like miles away, and then you're just gonna leave me at home, or you're gonna just leave me and the kids, or the wife is trying to go far away and then she leaves the man and the kids? I feel these are things.
They told them should go and they'll leave the kids.
I mean, that's honestly, that's the most awkward thing. I mean, I understand the place of the man goes and then the woman is back, or let's say the other way around. But when the couples are gone and then they leave kids with siblings, or they leave kids with grannies or nannies,
it's not the best.
That's outsourcing, man. That's outsourcing. True. You're outsourcing taking care of your kids to other people.
I agree with you on the residency and a lot of things. But the thing is, I was just thinking now, in this day and age, you feel like, even if you talk about all these things, one of them, let me not just mention them. One of them will just wake up one day and say they want to go. So I mean, there's another thing that they needs to be addressed is like understanding the place of time. Being, let's say, marriage first. You are married now. 10 years from the time you married, it's a whole new situation. The timeline has changed. Yep. You need to reevaluate.
That's right.
You can't be living on the ideals or the principles or the goals of before. You need to reevaluate based on your situation. You've matured, you've been with the person, there's a lot that has happened, good or bad, whatever. You need to reevaluate, okay, this is how we do. So I think understanding the place of reevaluating at some point, and also talking about friendship. Friendship is important because sometimes your partner will be like, oh, you should not have this friend. Maybe like your babe can say, I don't like that person, don't be their friend. I'm like, what rubbish? Just because you don't like the person, like it's not even a legit reason. You need to talk about friendship. How often you spend time with friends? Who are your friends? What kind of friends? What's the boundaries you keep with your friend, and what's your
boundaries?
Boundaries like you keep with your friend, and you expect your partners to keep with your friends too. Not just come in, maybe I'm with my friend now, my babe should come and start acting anyhow to my friend. Like, you understand, like I have a relationship, you can't just, whatever you do is going to affect my relationship with them. If it's for no legit reason, you need to mind your behavior with them, and also how close you get. All those conversations about friendship and colleagues, because it's important. I mean, relationship is important, but there's a place for your partner, there's a place for your close friends, your friends, acquaintances. There's a place for everybody. Some people just expect that you drop everybody 24/7 you're with me. Me, I cannot do that.
So go on.
So it's that. I feel it's a very, very, very important topic, because you'll be able to assess, is this person clingy, or is this person controlling,
or possessive and stuff. I totally see. But I mean, in addition to what you said, I feel that it's important we create boundaries.
True.
I mean,
True.
I think one of the ways to manage this kind of dynamic that you just spoke about is creating boundaries. Yeah, I mean, I can't come now and start lying to you. These are mistakes I've made as well, and I've learned. And the reason why I'm saying this is we need to start creating boundaries. And this is just like what you said, it would help us to identify certain flags in our partners. I mean, or even the same, my partner as well, noticing any flag she can't cope with in me. So for example, I know the fact that we need to compromise in relationships and we need to set boundaries. But you know, I've come across people who say, oh yeah, you're gonna be with me, you have to cut off all those friends.
Rubbish.
I mean, that thing, it's sort of creepy, yeah? But I understand the fact that the boundaries have to be put. I mean, you have to respect your babe. It's important. We have to respect our babes by creating those boundaries. But then I feel it's way overboard when lady comes and say, let's say someone you've been friends with, let's say your childhood friend, and the babe expect that, no, now she's coming into the cycle. You need to let go of all of those friends. I think that's kind of selfish.
She's the one that they will throw away. You know, you come into the relationship where you are telling me to drop someone that I've known for 4 or 5 years. We've gone through a lot.
You get what I'm saying?
The relationship is deep. It has been here. And you say, what's nonsense?
Yeah, but then that's how we now say that it's important.
To have that
especially, let's say, from the guy's side, we need to now restrain ourselves from certain friendships we have with our female friends. You know, I think it's a way of respecting both our partners and respecting our friends.
True.
And I feel that reasonable friends that we have would understand that, okay, this guy has got a babe now, things might change a bit, the dynamics or the realities might tend to change because and I feel if I respect my friend and respect my partner, a reasonable friend should do that, you know, reciprocate that respect of saying, okay, I mean, just for example, I can't be spending time alone
with the baby. You spend time with
my babe,
with the couple, like with your friend,
maybe with other friends, or with my babe, go with them. But let's say it's just myself and the other guy. Like, it's not sensible. It's not sensible.
True.
Even though we're not doing anything, do you get what I'm saying? But if my babe hears such a thing, it's a bomb, man.
I mean, except you've told her before, okay, talk me and this person where that's what the
but then
communication
even in that situation, I'll prefer that we don't go alone unless it's a public place.
Or depending on the situation, But most times it's best, like, let's say there's another girl, maybe my babe's friend. I'm not going to meet her alone. I'll talk to her because of my babe in the presence of her.
Thank you for saying this. Yeah, that's another conversation we should have in relationships, or when heading into relationships, of people who have opposite sex as best friend before relationship. Because like I do tell people, one of the reasons why I find it difficult to have, once in the past, why I would find it difficult to not have a female friend as a best friend now, is because my babe is who I want to be my best friend. So if I have a female friend who was, now the person could be my very close friend, but I'm not going to tag it as my best friend. It's like my ultimate best friend, because I want to see my babe to be my best friend. Because if my friend, if a female friend, unless we have friend zoned each other, but let's say it's just a lady who we haven't friend zoned each other, and she's my best friend. What about if I now get entangled with another lady?
Entanglement.
You're gonna be, you get what I'm saying?
The thing is, you can't be like really best friends with opposite. You can be best friends with opposite sex, but once you get into a relationship, because when you say like a girl that has a male best friend, what does the guy do? He supports her. She's tired. I feel so much. She talks to him. She's like, "Oh, I'm scared in the night. Walk me home."
That's right.
He's literally doing the role of a boyfriend without the title. She's doing the role of the girlfriend without the title. So they are just doing rubbish. So once you come into a relationship, I mean, the boyfriend is to take over the role and more. So that relationship there would be a gap. You still talk, you still be friends, but you put boundaries. You can't now tell me that, oh, me and my best friend are going on dates. What rubbish.
I mean,
you talk now. Tell him to come to the house. Two of us play game. I might even become his friend. Yeah, he's your friend. I'm not saying you shouldn't be your friend, but then that boundary needs to be like, bro, come over, we'll play games. But not that two of you are now. What I doing? Or me, I'll say, let me go. What am I going to talk to her female best friend or my female best friend? What am I going to tell her again that I'm not? What is she going to say? Oh, it's okay. She now rub my leg. My baby will her. Yeah, what's happening? All those problems have started. And the thing is, relationship with the opposite sex sooner or later goes beyond the platonic friendship
That's
relationship.
right. String gets attached.
Yeah, a lot of strings. And in this age and time where everybody is doing shit in between each other, so at the point that you know you are serious, you need to
You need to start creating.
let there be clarity. So that it won't get to the point where there's problem, unnecessary problem, doubt, and all those things. Let there be clarity. So I think those are I think there's still a lot of things.
There are a lot of them. These are just few ones, I mean, people, you can as well drop your comments in this comment section. Drop your opinions, drop those kind of critical topics. I know there are a bunch of questions or critical topics that partners should discuss about. When things getting serious, or even in the relationship as well. And even because of our time, but drop your comments, drop your opinions. We're gonna be making sure we respond to those opinions. And even if there are topics you want us to, trash out, or you want us to discuss about, just drop them, and definitely we're gonna be picking those things up. So remember to subscribe, like, and share. If you haven't subscribed, please do this. Don't make me come for you now. Please subscribe.
Click that button.
Exactly.
Subscribe.
No, man.
Now. Oh yeah, subscribe. Subscribe now.
Make it quick.
Subscribe.
Yeah, man. So
and like and share and comment.
Like, share, comment, subscribe.
Tell us, share your experiences.
That's another thing when people share experiences. That might also be one of the topics we might talk about later. Like, we can talk about some of the breakfast experiences we've had. But then we might have that during, like, when we have like the big room. So it's okay. So thank you for joining us today, and definitely we're gonna be seeing you on the next episode.